everybody, this is Robbie Parker, and I'm going to be joined by Big D from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, and we're going to be doing a review of the 2013 movie Monsters University. So in this movie, we get a look at the relationship between Mike and Sully during their days at Monsters University, when they weren't necessarily the best of friends, but we get to see how they went from not really getting along to becoming best friends. So before I get into my part, I'm going to let Big D do his part like always, so take it away, Big D.
Hey everyone, this is the Big D, and I'm going to be collabing with Robbie Parker as we talk about the 2013 coming-of-age comedy flick from Disney and Pixar, Monsters University, which is a prequel to 2001's Monsters Incorporated. Now, John Goodman and Billy Crystal reprise their roles as the main characters of this film's predecessor, Monsters Incorporated, as James P. Sullivan and Mike Wazowski, and their experience in college leading them to become best friends. The story starts out when young Mike Wazowski visits the Monsters Incorporated factory on a class field trip to learn about how scarers harness human children's screams for energy to power the monster world. And he secretly follows a scarer through a door to the human world. Watch more. Though the scarer is concerned by Mike's recklessness but impressed by his stealth, he gives him his Monsters University cap. And years later, he enrolls in MU's scaring program, but however is assigned to be roommates with his rival, Randall Randy Boggs. Well, soon-to-be rival of Randy Boggs, who is once again voiced by Steve Buscemi. Yeah. But anyway, this turned out to be a pretty fun little film. And well, soon, Mike then meets James P. Sullivan, the son of a famous scarer, and gets into the top fraternity on campus, Roar, which is R-O-R, Roar Omega Roar. However, the campus rejects Mike for not looking scary enough, but however, he works real hard and soon manages to become a scarer, just like Sully. So I've got to admit, this is a pretty good film and pretty good prequel. And as a prequel, it really showed how much we got to know of how Mike and Sully got to become real good friends and become true heroes in Monsters Incorporated. But anyway, they were both still good characters just like before. Aside from Crystal, Goodman, and Buscemi, Bob Pearson returns as the voice of the character of Ross, and John Ratzenberger, who is certainly no stranger to working with Pixar, returns as the voice of the Yeti. Some of the other cast members are pretty good. We got Pearson as Squishy, and Joel Murray as Don Carlton, John P. Hayes and Dave Foley as Terry and Terry Perry, and Charlie Day as Art. We also have the voices of Alfred Molina as Professor Derek Knight, who's a pretty good character, and Dame Helen Mirren as Dean Abigail Hardscrabble, the chair of the Scarab program and president at Monsters University. Also, we have Bonnie Hunt back from the first film as well, except she voices a different character, and that is Mike's teacher, Karen Graves. So I've got to say, this has a host of other great voice actors and what have you, and they do very well. Also, just like Monsters Incorporated, Randy Newman is back to do the film's score, and I've got to say, it was pretty good. There was lots of pretty good songs, including the main title, Rise and Shine, and even the Scare Games. I've seen Monsters University a few times, not as many times as I've seen Monsters Incorporated, but I do feel like this is a very good film. If you liked Monsters Incorporated, then I think you will definitely love this prequel to it, Monsters University. It's very good, and I like it. So as always, thank you for making me a part of this, Robbie, and until our next collab, this is the Big D saying, see ya.
Thank you, Big D. It was great to have you on here as always. I always enjoy having you on here, and I'm glad that we're able to get back to these Pixar reviews because I've been missing doing them and stuff. I'm sorry it took so long to get my copy of Monsters University where I could watch it. Everything. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get into my part. And I think this is a pretty good prequel to Monsters Inc. I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit and everything. Every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more. Like I think that I've always really loved it and everything since I saw it in the cinema. But every time I rewatch it, I love it a little bit more, and I always forget how much I like it and everything. I like how we get to meet Mike and Sully and everything, and how they're not really good friends at first and everything, and I love how their friendship grows throughout the movie, and it feels like a natural friendship and stuff. It's very well done. I really enjoy that. And I also like how Sully is a completely different character than he was in the first movie. Like, he's young, he's cocky and stuff, but he's still lovable and everything. John Goodman still brings that lovable spirit that Sully needs and everything. So I love that, and I also love that Mike has a lot to do in this movie. A lot, like, this is more Mike's movie than it is Sully's movie, where Monsters Inc. was more Sully's movie, and I like that. Like that's one thing I do like that Pixar does with the sequels, is they kind of give the spotlight to other characters and stuff, except for like the Toy Story ones. They're usually Woody and Buzz are the spotlight of those movies, but like The Incredibles 2 kind of gave it to Elastigirl. Finding Dory, of course, gave it to Dory. This one gave it to Mike and everything. And I think it's worked on all of these movies except for Cars 2 and everything, which we've already talked about. But I do feel like that focusing on Mike was actually a pretty decent idea, and it worked really good for this movie and everything. And the idea of Mike not being scary but wanting to be a scarer and stuff is really well done and everything. I liked a lot of that. Well, I liked a lot of what they did with that and everything. The new characters are great in here too. I love the entire gang of Uzma Kappa characters. They all are great. Each have a distinct personality. My favorite one being Art, the big purple one. I think he's just really funny and stuff. But I like Squibbles and his mom, and the older guy with the tentacles. I cannot remember what his name is, but he's pretty likable. Like, all of them are, though. Like, all of the Uzma Kappa characters are likable and really funny at times too. The animation is great too. It looks really good and everything. It's come a long way since the original. Definitely, you can tell the difference in the animation, but it looks really good and holds up very, very well. And I love the third act and how eerie they make the human world feel and stuff. Like when they go into the human world, the atmosphere is just really, really creepy and stuff, especially when they're in the cabin and stuff and they see the kids, and the kids even kind of look creepy to the monsters and everything. When you look at them that way, you could see why the monsters are scared of the kids and everything. But I did like a lot of that stuff, and I love how this also just adds to the world of Monsters Inc. and everything, and it really helps build into the story and everything that we were introduced in that first movie and everything. It builds the world up really well and everything. So like this is one of those rare sequels that does some pretty good world building as well. And as far as my favorite moments, there's quite a few. Like the opening scene when we see little Mike go into Monsters Inc. is really a great way to start the film and everything. I really enjoyed that whole scene and everything, but also really enjoyed Sully's introduction and everything. We meet him and we see instantly that this is not the Sully that we remember from the first movie. He's young, he's cocky, he doesn't really care about anything except just partying and having fun, and I love that. I love that they brought that to Sully, and I think John Goodman really did a great job at playing that character, seeing he was in his 60s when he made this movie and everything. I thought he did a great job returning as a younger version of Sully than he was in the first one and everything. But his and Billy Crystal's voice performances were just as perfect as they were in the first one. And I love all the scare game scenes. I think they're all really fun, especially the library one where if they get caught, they get thrown out the library through the open window in the ceiling, which I don't know how the librarian was able to do that without getting sued, because that's a death waiting to happen. But it was really, really funny and everything when characters get thrown out the window. I don't know why, I just cracked up at that scene and everything. But that scene was the one that just stuck out the most. Felt like it was kind of intense and everything, because you felt the tension of them trying not to get caught and everything, and it just worked really, really well. And I love when they go visit Monsters Inc. and almost get caught too. Like, that scene is really fun too, and that's also where Mike and Sully really start to bond and become friends and stuff. Really, really great moment in the movie and everything. I've always loved that scene, and I really like the part where that they are about to get caught, and Art is like, I can't go back to jail, and then they are running and stuff to the car and trying to get Squibble's mom to start the car, and she's being slow and everything. Mike has to jump in the front seat. Just a really fun scene and everything. I really enjoyed that one. And the ending where Mike and Sully have to scare their way back into the monster world is really freaking cool. Like I said, I've already kind of talked about that, so I'm not going to go too much on that, but I just wanted to mention that again as one of my favorite moments and everything. Also, I like the scene when they get kicked out of the scare program as well and everything. I thought that scene was really well done. As far as negatives go, I will say that it is a little bit predictable. Like, you kind of know how this movie's going to go in some ways. In some ways, you don't, though. So, like, I don't feel like it's too much of a negativity, but it does play into some of the cliches that you get in college movies and stuff and everything. Some of it they do pretty cleverly, and some of it they don't and everything. But I will say the ending wasn't predictable, which I liked about that, though, and everything. And as far as final thoughts go, I think it's a really fun prequel. It doesn't necessarily need to exist, but it's so entertaining that I really don't care. I'm glad that it does and everything. It really is one of those movies that is definitely one of the Pixar cash grabs, but like most of them, I feel like that Pixar puts enough effort into their sequels that even if they are cash grabs, they're still worth watching and still worth existing and stuff. I would much rather original movies and stuff, but movies like this don't bother me either. I love Monsters University almost as much as I do Monsters Inc. In some ways, over the years, I've come to maybe even appreciate it a little bit more than Monsters Inc. I just really love the friendship between Mike and Sully, and seeing how they went from rivals to being best friends. I just love that and everything. I love good redemption stories, and Sully didn't really need a big redemption and stuff, but he got a good enough redemption by the end of the movie that he became the likable, lovable Sully that we know and love and everything. And I also love, like, the message it gives that, you know, you're not always cut out for the dreams you have, but you can still make life good and everything. Like, that's something that's a really good message for kids and stuff. So, like, this movie has a lot of really, really good stuff going for it and everything, and it's a really, really good prequel and everything. Like, it's probably my second favorite prequel of all time after Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I really enjoy this movie quite a bit and everything. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Monsters University, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody. I just want to say thank you for watching this video and everything. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends and get more people going, help the channel grow. I really appreciate it, and thank you all, and have a good day.